Hey everyone, this is your OG, Original Gamer, and this is another Godforge video. Today we'll be breaking down the leaks for you like a plumber with a purpose. Stick around to the end because the Drac attack is back to back to back to back and it smacks. Without any further slack, let's optimize. Alright, so we have for you here today the art attack that was put out and was released on Friday, yesterday. So we're going to go through it real quick and we're going to take a look at the different art that is being done, and this sort of package is put out on a regular basis as new champions are worked on and moved from 2D to 3D. So here we have Estebe is I think how you pronounce this, okay? Rare champion, looks to be from the Amayakin faction, based on the style and the different things we're seeing here. When looking at her mythos, she comes from the Mayan mythos. She's depicted as a seductive and dangerous femme fatale archetype who lures men who are drunk or lost to their doom. This is similar in many ways to mermaids in mythologies as well. In some versions, she turns into a serpent, and that's how she dooms them. In others, she devours their hearts. This is seen as a social punishment for drunkenness, thievery, and criminality, rather than her just being some creature of pure malice. Okay, so she's sort of like keeping things in balance. Okay, so that is Estebe. Then we see Metzli. Metzli is a Lego champ, also from the Amayakin faction, or we would think she's a Lego. Oh no, she says she's a legendary. That's right, from the Amayakin faction. It would appear. We don't know for a fact that she's from Amayakin, but it certainly looks like the style. Then looking up her mythology. And what I want to show you too, both her and the previous one, if you look at their hands, there's a lot of detail in terms of the coloring of the hands. And obviously because they probably place debuffs and buffs and things like that, it makes sense to have that coloring go all the way through to their hands where the actual energy comes out from or is transferred to the enemy. Okay, so in Aztec mythology, her name means moon. And she is a balance to all those boorish sun gods. Her mythos involves the rabbit in the moon, where gods threw a rabbit at her and left a visible mark you see today on the moon. That's part of her mythology. Okay, so she's associated with like nighttime and the moon and darkness. Really a neat character here. Next, we see, we do not know which character this is. Looking up possible characters, it looks like it could be Hoi, possibly from the Tian faction. This is like he's a divine archer. He was tasked by Emperor Yao to save humanity, so he's known for his superhuman strength and his skill with a bow made of tiger bone and arrows made of dragon tendons. So this fiery fellow, he shot down 9 of the 10 suns in the sky, saving humanity, otherwise they would have burned up, leaving only the one that we enjoy today. So thank you for that. So we're going to guess he's a legendary with that kind of backstory. And again, we're guessing that it's Hu Yi anyways from the Chinese mythology, but looks really cool. And the arrows and the bow look amazing. So could be him. We're not sure. We'll see once we get confirmation. Then we see Moash. Moash is an epic from Virage. This is a life-giving goddess, kind of like a Mother Earth type. She's very much linked to spinning and weaving as it relates to the cycles of life and the thread of fate. Okay, so that's Moash. Then you see, this is a cool one right here. So we see your OG's favorite champ, Freya. And then you see this winged Reaper boss, which is looks like almost an alternate form of Freya, right? Or like a skin on her. Perhaps it's the corrupted form of her. Maybe every champ has a normal form and a corrupted form, and when you face them in the corrupted form and you cleanse them by beating them, it's kind of like saving them from the darkness or the corruption. We'll see. We don't know. But this looks incredible. I mean, who doesn't want the Winged Reaper, on their team? I mean, who doesn't want Freya to begin with? She looks amazing, but the Winged Reaper looks even cooler than that. What awesome weapons. That dark purple definitely looks like some sort of corrupted ether. Okay, next up we have the Colossus of Asgard. Another one, individual, probably be a boss of some kind with a axe the same size as him. Pretty incredible. Possibly, does this relate to Jotnar, like the frost giants? Not sure. Did some look in the mythology, and could be related to Jotnar and Jotunheim, and some of the elements of Asgard that were there, but we don't exactly know yet. So, what do you think? What do you know from your Asgard lore and history that you think this one fits in? Drop it in the comments below. I think as a community, we'll definitely figure this one out. So that's the Colossus of Asgard, and this is his weapon, which is pretty enormous and awesome. Then we have Banshee. She looks like a possible rare champ, maybe from Avalon. Could be Virage too, but looking at the symbols on her, they look far more Celtic in terms of their symbols than they do Slavic. So I'm pretty sure she's going to be with Avalon. Okay. And then, we got to see Amiturasu. Simon showed this the other day, just flashed it real quick, but really incredible to see the detail. This is a legendary champion as well. But the hair and the detail and, front and back, nothing is skipped. Really looks incredible here. And they do a close-up. And then we see Ishtar, okay? I'm assuming a legendary from the Virage faction. She's huge in Sumerian and Babylonian mythology. So I really love the purple and blue feel for her. It's like, I don't know that I've seen it done. And I like how it, like, as we see there, it extends to those hands and even, like, the feet and up the legs. It's cool. It's cool because this is where most of the color from her abilities is going to come from. The ground, her feet, and then her hands, sending it at the enemy. So I like how it's sort of dyed her hands, you know what I mean, from using it, it seems like. Really an incredible looking character. And then you see she carries the Star of Ishtar shield, it looks like here. So we've seen, and we know the Star of Ishtar is an important symbol, but it looks like she kind of has like a shield that could be similar or could be called like the Star of Ishtar as a shield. Very cool champion. Okay, so then we see some sketches of the Amayakin jungle waves. So it looks like you see 1, 2A, 2B, 3, and 4. It looks like a 4-stage progression with either A/B testing on that second stage, or that is where there's a reliquary room to jump off into. So that could be seen two different ways, whether 2A is the normal, and then when you've done the damage and opened the reliquary room or done whatever it requires to open the reliquary room, maybe that is what 2B looks like and you enter through the mouth there into that reliquary room. Or Fateless is just testing, A/B testing these two to see which one is better. But if I had to guess, it probably has a more of a significant meaning than that. So we should be looking at this piece here when it comes to probably the reliquary room for Amayakin jungle wave factions. Okay, so there's a little something from that one. Really cool down here though, with like the water coming out of the mouth. They're putting a lot of effort into the detail of the environment so that you kind of feel like the first one is a small entry stage and it just keeps getting bigger. And so that's the way it should, right? It's the way it should progress. So really cool, just sketches. Then we get to the Shrine of Hercules, another dungeon sketch up. We knew that the Shrine of Hercules was a dungeon. We'd heard that before. What a massive feel to this background though, right? Like with the size of the statue and being able to see the sky, and like had they closed the sky off behind the statue, I think it would have made this feel a lot more small and entrapping. But with that opening in there, it feels immense and it feels immersive, which is perfect because that's how Olympus, the type of architecture and the type of buildings that were built for the gods were massive, and they were designed to make you feel very small and the gods feel very big. So I feel like they captured that really well. Here's an interesting thing. So we're going to go back and forth between these two right here. So you see the overhead, there's this battleground space right here. The Hercules sculpture is over here with some other sculptures as well. So there's water in the middle. Certainly, we could be fighting a water-based boss of some kind. That makes some sense. What would be really cool, and I don't know if this will happen or not, just kind of speculating, but what if, like, in Aru you knock over a statue? What if in this one, doing a certain thing knocks over this Hercules statue and it becomes like a bridge, and you can go over and get your rewards or your champions, or maybe you get Hercules if you do that, and you come over and something like that. I just thought, oh, look at that sculpture. It's really, if you knocked it down, it would make a bridge, and then maybe over there is your reward thing. Something to think of. I don't know. They've talked about having the environments be like somewhat interactive, where you could destroy things and do stuff to the environment. So just thinking along those lines, wondering if maybe look at Hercules' statue here, if it's big enough to be dropped and become a bridge. Who knows? We will see. So then after we talk about this, we get to see what looks like the summoning currency, the Aether Stones, for summoning champions. Now, we see 4 different varieties and maybe 4 different looks. I don't know if they're testing or trying them out or if these are finalized. I would guess the green one looks like maybe the lowest rarity up in the upper left here, and this looks like void specific, like purple specific, and this would be maybe a higher rank, higher rarity than this one, and this would be the highest of all the rarities. Just guessing, we don't really know. We'll have to wait, but what it seems like is that Alpha won't involve these summoning stones. From what we're understanding, like, everything will be held within the cavern progression. You won't go to the Godforge inside the game and be pulling champions. That's what we understand. I could be wrong, but I don't believe Aether Stones are going to come into play in the alpha testing at all. I think champions are all going to be drops as a reward for doing different levels. But we will definitely be looking as we get closer to the full launch, what these Aether Stones are and how they work, and what the RNG and pull rates are for everything. Definitely want to get to know that. All right, last but not least in this art attack, we're going to look at this background. They put out these art backgrounds each time, and they're just really incredible. I'm not sure who does them, but they're just awesome. And they include a bunch of different champions that are going to be, probably somewhat central to the game. So it gives us some good information. So obviously, you can't miss a dragon. You can't really miss this giant wolf, which probably is Fenrir, which would likely be a boss from what we're seeing. These two would probably likely be a boss. Obviously, Drac is on the move. And we're going to talk about him next when we show his core and ultimate abilities. This looks, a sickle here, someone from Aru, maybe Ramses, maybe a mummy. I'm not really sure. It's hard to kind of tell. But he is getting smacked. He's getting lambasted and getting the sand smacked out of his sickle-swinging little Egyptian enemy. But it looks like maybe this could be Baba Yaga with the chicken feet. At first, I thought maybe it was a harpy. If you're familiar with harpies in mythology, I thought, oh, maybe it could be a flying like harpy. But the harpies they have talons. These look a little bit more like kind of chicken feet. So this could be Baba Yaga. You see Samash ready to lay down his smash right here. I'm not sure if he's attacking Fenrir or if he's just coming down to smash in general. But a really cool art attack there. Okay, so next we are going to go see Dracula's core ability. And we are going to get you all set up for this one. Okay, so here we are. This is Dracula's core. You see he gathers up some sort of red energy and he applies it to all his teammates. So certainly looks like he might be healing or buffing them. Obviously, being a vampire, he might have bleed or he might have some sort of lifesteal where he takes energy from the opponents. Maybe the core shares that and heals his teammates. We will have to see. And we haven't seen his basic yet either. Okay, so now on to his ultimate. Here we see gathers it all up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's awesome. A 4-hitter AoE. So it is gathered up, back to back to back to back, smack, smack, smack. Awesome. Really cool to see a 4-hitter out of Dracula. And here's from the other direction. Smack, 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 smack. Smack, 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 smack. I like it. It's a party that Drac is inviting you to. And he's He's got his own soundtrack here. So we'll watch it one more time. Look at that. 4 hits. Might place a debuff, like I said, like a bleed or something like that, and gather and take from the enemy. We aren't exactly sure, but it is a 4-hitter AoE. Plus, it looks like he buffs or maybe heals his teammates with his core. And you have to remember, he is one of only 2 brawler class with the cunning or green affinity. Okay, it's just 2 that we know of right now. OG bucket list, here he comes, okay? So let us finish with a moment of zen. This is the soundtrack for Godforge. Have to do art. Kind of reminds me of Guitar Hero Advanced version. I wasn't very good at Guitar Hero. Now, this is an awesome song. If you want to watch a really great breakdown of it from a musical perspective, DLDS put out a great video yesterday. He has a musical background. He talks about this in a much more intelligent way than I ever could. I played a musical instrument for a couple years back in middle school, but I am by no means a musical, good at music or anything like that. So DLDS put out an awesome video if you want to see kind of the breakdown of this from a musical perspective. Really cool. Okay, so guys, that is it. That's all the leaks we have for you this week. I hope you enjoy staying up to date with your OG on the latest updates for Godforge. If you liked it, hit that button and subscribe. But more importantly, take care of yourself and remember, play smarter.